Hi everyone, in this video I will explain the Power Query ribbon and the main buttons of each of the four menus: Home, Transform, Add Column and View. The ribbon is identical in Power Query in Excel and in Power Query in Power BI, so each of the methods will work in both of them. I will explain it in Excel. To open the Power Query ribbon, we first have to open the Power Query Transform. So we open a new Excel workbook and go to Data, Get Data from File, Excel, and we open our workbook. So we have here a table sales, and we go to Transform Data. And now the Power Query ribbon will open. First, we will see the main parts. Here is the Queries tab. Here is the Query Settings, where we have all the steps that we will register. And here is the main window where we see the data. We have also contextual menu. For example, if we right click here, we have duplicate reference. Okay, we can duplicate this query or reference it in another one. And also here we can open the advanced editor, where all the steps that we will register here are translated here in the M language, which is the personal language of Power Query. We close this. So let's see, here we have the formula bar where each step is registered in M language. So let's analyze the ribbon. We have the first one, the home ribbon. Here we have close and load. Here we will close and load when we finish all the steps, or we have to do close and load to. We can make it to a table, a pivot table, in the existing worksheet, or we can only add this to the data model or only create connection, depending on your objective. So we here press edit and we open again the Power Query ribbon. I will present you only the important buttons. We seen the advanced editor. Okay, here we can modify the steps directly in the M language, not only from the user interface. Then here is the duplicate and reference of the query, which we already seen. We have it here. Then we have here remove columns. Okay, remove columns or remove other columns. If we select this and remove other columns, it will remove all others. Okay, we have keep rows, keep top rows. We can say how many rows we want to keep, or remove rows, how many rows we want to remove, and other options here. Then split column, we can split it. For example, here we can split it each one day, month, or year. Split column by delimiter. And we, in this case, we will put Power Query already saw what is the delimiter and say OK. Okay, and it was done. We can delete a step that we don't want. We delete it. Okay, and we are back to the initial situation. Okay, then we have group by. Here is an aggregation like a pivot table. We can, for example, group by this table which has sales based on the sales territory key. So we select this and say group by sales territory, and we have this like a pivot table. Okay, we have this count, but we can here we can select what we want. We want to count or we want to sum. Okay, and so on. Then here we can select the data type. Okay, use first row as headers. Sometimes you import a table and you want the first row to be the header. Sometimes Excel knows what the header, sometimes not, and you have here to promote it. Okay, here replace values. Try here, for example, to replace SO, okay, with 80. Okay, and we have this. Then we have the menu of merge queries and append queries. Okay, when we want to merge, we have to select the two tables and then to say which columns are similar in order to be merged. And if we want to append, we have to say what table to append. Okay, and then we have manage parameters. We will not go into parameters in this video, but in a future video we can talk about them. Data source settings here are for advanced settings. And here enter data. You can actually create a table by entering data. Okay, and you start to enter here data, add another column, and so on. The next menu is transform. Here we have again group by, use first header as rows. Transpose. Here it's an interesting menu. We can transpose the table from rows to columns. Okay. Invert rows, invert this table's rows. The last rows are displayed first. It's like a different order. Okay, count rows, it tells you how many rows you have. Choose columns, remove columns, keep row. Sorry, I was in the home menu. Transpose, reverse row, data type. We saw it also in home, but here we have another menu, detect data type, and let Power Query detect if this is a date or not. Replace values, we saw it, but we have also a contextual menu. For example, click right, and we have other options: remove, column, change type, transform. Okay, if it is a date, you have a contextual menu, transform it only in a year, for example, this date. Okay, then replace values. Okay, group by, fill up and down. We will see here we have fill up and down, very useful if you have missing values. And you, for example, if you have only the first one and then is the same day that but you don't have it, you say fill down and all the empty cells will be filled with the one above. Then pivot column. Okay, pivot column. And unpivot columns. Okay, very useful in data analysis. Split column, we saw it. Format. Here we can change lowercase, uppercase. Okay, extract. Length. Text length. Text before delimiter, and so on. So here we have some statistics. Then we have the mathematical instruments, and that are the main menus in transform. We go to add column. Add column, we have here multiple choices. We have, for example, an index column. We can insert it, for example, an index column from 0 or from 1. Very useful in various analyses. Then you have duplicate column, conditional column. Okay, conditional column. where you can put conditions. And you say if order date equals something, then you say add this or put this. Okay. Invoke custom function. This is an advanced option involving functions. And custom column. Here you can create your custom column based on formulas from the M language and using the available columns. Okay. And we have column from examples from selection. For example, here we want to put only the name without 7, and here Power Query has an AI that understands what you want. Let's see. We select it and set column from selection. Okay. And we start to write. Here we want southwest. Okay. And Power Query is intelligent and understand that you want only the names. Okay. And it already has written for you without the need to remove the last element. Okay. And the last menu is view. Here you can hide or not the formula bar. Monospace is just a formatting. Column quality. Here are some analysis options where you can see the type of columns. For example, the column profile. Here it says how many entries you have, how many as distinct, unique. Here you have the distribution, very useful. Okay. For example, here value distribution, you see. Okay, column distribution, you can have it here, the summary, advanced editor, and query dependencies if you have multiple queries. Okay, and when you finished all this, okay, you have here all the steps, also in M language. When you hear all this, close and load, and all your transformations are imported in a new table. If you are in Power BI, a new table will be created. Query and go to load to and change it to table, and it will be inserted here. Okay, all our transformation. If we let it only in connection, we can use it in a Power Pivot data model or in Power BI to analyze it. So I hope you found this useful. By practicing it, you will become a master in Power Query and it will speed up your work very much. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.